Okay, so get this. We're diving into this panel. It was from a hospitality conference over in China.
Oh, where?
Yeah, and they were talking about how AGI could completely change, like, everything about hotels and travel.
So like beyond just like robots making your bed and stuff.
Exactly, yeah. Like, think about, imagine walking into your hotel room and it, like, already knows you like it a little cooler, so it's, like, pre-cooled for you.
Nice.
And the lights are dimmed just the way you like them, and maybe even, like, your favorite drink is already waiting there for you.
Whoa, that's next level.
Right, that's the kind of stuff they were talking about.
So they weren't just talking about robots handling tasks, but like systems that actually like think.
Yeah, like, thing like us, but way faster and more powerful.
It can like actually learn and make decisions and stuff.
Yeah, adapt on the fly. And get this, one expert even said that AGI could be like 10,000 times stronger than the human brain by 2035.
Oh, wow. Okay, so we're not just talking about replacing the front desk with a kiosk.
No, this is like hotels operating in ways we can barely even imagine right now.
So that brings up a big question then. What happens to the people working in these like super smart hotels?
Yeah, where does everyone fit in?
Right. Like imagine how different things like um, decision making would be, especially with like room pricing and who gets which room.
Oh yeah, the panel like really dug into that.
What they say.
So right now, like, revenue managers, they have to look at all this data, to figure out the best prices to charge.
Right. It's a lot of number crunching.
But with AGI, it could, like, happen instantly.
Really?
Yeah, using, like, information about what other hotels are charging, the weather, even, like, if there's a big conference in town or something.
So it's like predicting demand in real time.
Exactly, yeah. And, like, setting prices that'll make the most money for the hotel.
That's pretty wild.
It is, but here's the thing. A lot of hotels don't actually trust the tech they already have for this stuff.
What do you mean?
Like, they get these recommendations from AI, but then they end up just going with their gut feeling instead.
Really?
Yeah. So even with, like, really advanced systems, there's this, like, trust factor that needs to be there.
Makes sense, I guess. Like if you don't understand how the system works, it's hard to like fully trust it.
Right, exactly.
So maybe AI that's more like transparent about its decisions would be better.
Yeah, like showing its work, so to speak.
I like that, showing its work. Yeah, so people can see like why it's making the choices it's making.
Exactly. So beyond pricing, the panel really focused on three main things where they thought AGI could make a huge impact. And those were like making guests happier, cutting costs for hotels, and helping them sell more.
Okay, so hitting all the major points.
Right. And one expert, Martin, he said, like, hotels shouldn't overcomplicate things.
Like keep it simple.
Yeah. He thought AGI would be best when it's, like, woven into the systems they already use every day, like their property management system, their POS system, and their marketing platforms, too.
So like working smarter, not harder.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And speaking of working smarter, what about energy savings?
Oh, that's a big one for hotels.
Huge. Like, energy costs are a major expense, so even small changes could save them a ton of money.
So how could AGI help with that?
Well, think about this. What if you had a system that could automatically, like, adjust the temperature and lighting in a room, depending on whether the guest is there or not?
I was smart.
Right, so no wasted energy when the room's empty, but it's still comfy for the guest when they are there. Some experts think that this alone could save hotels like 40 to 60% on their energy bills.
Whoa, that's huge.
I know, right?
But I guess you also don't want to get so focused on saving money that you like forget about the guest experience.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, one expert made this point. He was like, imagine if you turned off the AC in the middle of the night to save a few bucks, but then all your guests wake up sweating.
Oh yeah, not a good look.
Not good at all.
It just goes to show that even with like incredible technology, you still need like smart people making decisions.
For sure, yeah. Thinking about the big picture.
You can't just set it and forget it.
Nope, definitely not.
Okay. So we talked about happy guests and saving money.
Uh-huh.
What about the selling more part?
Yeah, so for that, the panel talked about how AGI could, like, totally transform marketing.
Interesting.
Yeah, like, imagine using AI to create social media posts or even entire marketing campaigns.
Whoa, like a robot marketing team.
Kind of, yeah. And because AI can analyze all this data about guest preferences, it could help hotels target, like, the right customers with the right message at the right time.
So it's all about personalization.
Totally, yeah. But let's switch gears for a second and talk about something else that's super important, data privacy.
Okay, yeah, that's a big one.
Huge, especially for hotels, right? I mean, they collect so much personal information from guests.
And with all these different rules in different countries, like Europe's GDPR and China's PIPL, it can get really complicated.
Yeah, it's a lot to keep track of.
For sure.
So the panel was really big on hotels having like top-notch cybersecurity and people who are specifically focused on data privacy.
So like data privacy officers.
Yeah, exactly. That way they can make sure they're following all the rules and protecting guest data from like both inside and outside threats.
So not just hackers, but like making sure employees aren't like snooping around either.
Right. It's got to be secure from every angle.
Makes sense.
One expert even talked about using AI itself to improve cybersecurity, which I thought was pretty cool.
Oh, interesting. How would that work?
They talked about like moving beyond just reacting to threats and instead using AI to actually like identify and stop potential problems before they even happen.
So it's like AI being the security guard.
Yeah, kind of. It's like it's always watching and analyzing for anything suspicious.
Wow, that's pretty clever.
Right.
It's like using AI to fight the very problems it creates.
Exactly. Yeah. But then, even if you have all the right security measures in place, data privacy isn't just about keeping data safe. It's also about respecting what guests want when it comes to their own information.
Right, like being transparent with them about what you're collecting and how you're using it,
Exactly.
and like not being creepy with it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like no one wants to feel like Big Brother is watching their every move.
Definitely not. And this all ties back to personalization, right?
Yeah, how do you use all this data to create those like wow moments for guests without overstepping any boundaries?
It's a tough balance for sure.
It is, yeah.
But one expert, Sunny, he had some interesting thoughts on this.
What do you say?
So, he was really big on getting data ethically and being like completely transparent with guests.
Okay, yeah, so people
Yeah.
know what's being collected and why.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that would make people a lot more comfortable.
I think so too. And he also talked about the power of like human observation, you know?
Like hotel staff noticing things that data might not pick up on.
Exactly. Like maybe a guest mentions their favorite drink in passing, or the staff notices how they like their pillows arranged.
Those little details can make a big difference.
They really can, yeah. It's about like combining those insights from AI with what humans are good at, like noticing the small stuff that makes a stay feel really personal.
So it's not about AI versus humans. It's about like finding ways for them to work together.
Right, yeah. Kind of like a partnership.
I like that.
But, we've talked a lot about the cool stuff AGI could do, but there's this big question looming.
Yeah, what happens to jobs if AI gets this smart?
Exactly. Like, will robots steal all our jobs?
Right.
So the experts, they were pretty realistic about it. They said that some jobs are probably going to be replaced, especially like jobs that are really repetitive.
So like what kinds of jobs are we talking about?
Well, they mentioned call center work, like answering phones and stuff.
Okay, yeah, I could see that being automated.
And also like accounting and billing, things like that.
It makes sense. Those are pretty like rule-based tasks, I guess.
Yeah. And they even said that like 1 million call center jobs in the Philippines could be gone within a year, replaced by AGI.
Whoa, 1 million jobs. That's a lot of people.
It is, yeah.
So like what happens to all those people?
Right. It makes you wonder if the industry is going to like help those workers find new roles or learn new skills.
Yeah, it's a big question for all sorts of industries, not just hotels.
For sure, yeah.
Like we need to be thinking about how to support workers through this whole tech revolution.
Absolutely, yeah. Make sure everyone benefits, not just the robots.
Exactly.
Okay, so speaking of robots taking over jobs, let's talk about the fun stuff. Robots. I mean, who doesn't love seeing those little delivery robots rolling around hotels, right?
Yeah, they're pretty cute.
They are. So, what did the panel think about the future of robots in hotels?
Well, they were definitely excited about robots taking on more tasks, especially the ones that are like really tough or boring for humans.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Like they even talked about robots that could do multiple jobs throughout the day.
Oh, interesting. So like a multitasking robot.
Yeah. So maybe it starts the day delivering room service, then it switches to cleaning rooms, and then in the evening, it helps out the restaurant.
Wow, that would be pretty efficient.
It would.
Hmm.
And one expert even told this funny story about guests ordering things they didn't even need from room service just to see the robot deliver it.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I know, right?
Like just for the novelty of it.
Exactly. But it shows that robots in hotels need to be more than just a gimmick.
Yeah, they got to actually be useful.
Right, like they should genuinely make things better for both guests and the hotel staff.
I agree. So, besides delivery, were there any other roles they saw robots filling?
Well, they briefly mentioned security guard robots, which is kind of interesting.
Oh, yeah, robot security guards.
It makes you think about like how much we trust AI to keep us safe.
Right, and all the ethical stuff that comes with that.
Yeah, like who's making the decisions about what the robot considers a threat?
Exactly, yeah.
If
Whole other conversation.
it is for sure. But speaking of like bold predictions, we got to talk about Masayoshi-san.
Oh, yeah, the CEO of SoftBank.
He had some pretty big things to say about the future of AGI.
Oh, yeah. He's always got big ideas. What did he say this time?
Well, he went all in, predicting that by 2035, we'll have what he calls uh, artificial superintelligence, or ASI.
Okay, so, like, even smarter than AGI.
Way smarter. He said it'll be 10,000 times more powerful than the human brain.
Whoa, he really went there. Did he, like, give any examples of what that would even look like?
He didn't get into specifics, but he did say it would take huge investment to get there, like $9 trillion globally.
9 trillion. That's almost impossible to imagine.
Right. But he argued that it would be worth it because the SI could eventually replace like 5% of the entire world's economic output.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But he also emphasized that we need rules and like ethical guidelines
Yeah.
for ASI.
Yeah, you can't just let something that powerful run wild.
Right, like it could be incredibly dangerous in the wrong hands.
Yeah, good point.
So it sounds like we're moving into a whole new world with this stuff.
We are. It's exciting, but also kind of scary, you know?
Yeah, I know what you mean,
It's a lot to wrap your head around.
for sure. What stands out to you from all of this?
I think what gets me is like, how do we balance all this amazing potential with the very real concerns it brings up? Like, this technology could totally revolutionize hotels, but we have to be smart about it.
You can't just be a free-for-all.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
We need to make sure it benefits everyone, the hotels, the employees, and especially the guests.
I agree. It's about more than just the latest tech. It's about using it to actually make things better for everyone.
That's what makes these conversations so important, you know?
Yeah, we're literally figuring out the future of hospitality, one deep dive at a time.
I love that. One deep dive at a
I
time.
know, it's kind of exciting, isn't it?
It is. It's definitely exciting.
Like, we're right on the edge of something big.
We are.
All right, so where do we go from here?
Well, let's unpack some more of what the panel had to say about the impact of AGI on the actual guest experience. You know, like, how will hotels actually use this stuff to make things better for guests?
Oh, that's a good one.
Right, because I mean, it's one thing to talk about all this fancy technology, but it all comes down to like, will guests actually like it?
Will it make their stay better?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, let's get into it.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah, it's a fascinating challenge, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about creating these like hyper-personalized experiences for guests.
Yeah.
But the same technology that makes that possible also, like, raises all these questions about data privacy and security.
It's like walking a tightrope.
It is.
Like, how do hotels use all this data to anticipate what guests want and create those special moments?
Right.
But without, like, being creepy or intrusive.
Totally. Yeah.
That's a tough
Yeah,
balance.
it is. And one of the panelists actually used this phrase, surprise and delight.
Oh, I like that.
I thought it was perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's not just about like giving guests what they've specifically asked for, but
Yeah.
like going above and beyond to create these unexpected moments that like make a trip memorable.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, if a guest mentions in passing that they love a particular kind of tea, maybe the hotel could, like, surprise them with a selection of gourmet tea samples in their room.
Exactly.
Huh.
It's about taking what you know about a guest's preferences
Right.
and using that knowledge to craft an experience that feels like personal and thoughtful,
Yeah.
something beyond the ordinary.
I love it. And it's not just about individual guests, right?
Yeah.
The panel also talked about how AGI could help hotels provide, like, a more consistent level of service across all their properties.
Yeah, that's where the idea of like data sharing comes in.
Mm-hmm.
So like imagine a guest stays at a hotel in Paris and then like a few weeks later they check into another hotel from the same brand, but this time in Tokyo.
Okay.
With AGI, the hotel in Tokyo could tap into that guest's preferences from their stay in Paris,
Oh, that's cool.
ensuring they get like the same amazing experience no matter where they are in the world.
That would be so cool.
It would.
Like, no more having to explain your preferences every time you check into a new hotel.
Exactly.
Hmm.
It's like having this like unified guest profile that travels with you,
Mm-hmm.
allowing hotels to provide like truly personalized service at any of their locations.
I love it. Okay, so we've talked about how AGI could revolutionize the guest experience,
Right?
but what about like its impact on how hotels actually operate behind the scenes?
Well, one area that came up a lot was predictive maintenance.
Oh, interesting.
So like imagine sensors throughout the hotel constantly monitoring the condition of everything,
Okay.
from the AC units to the plumbing,
Right.
And if something starts to go wrong, the system could like alert the maintenance staff before it even becomes a problem for guests.
Oh, that's smart.
It is.
No more waiting for a guest to call and complain about a leaky faucet
Exactly, yeah.
or like a flickering light or something.
Right. AI could help hotels shift from like a reactive approach to maintenance to a proactive one,
Mm-hmm.
preventing issues before they impact the guest experience.
I like it.
And that could save hotels a ton of money in the long run.
It sounds like AGI could really help hotels streamline their operations
Yeah.
and become like way more efficient overall.
Absolutely. And that increased efficiency could lead to like cost savings
Mm-hmm.
that hotels could then reinvest in other areas like,
Yep.
further improving the guest experience
Okay. Yeah.
or providing additional training for their staff.
I see. So it's like a positive feedback loop.
It is, yeah.
AGI helps hotels become more efficient,
Right.
which frees up resources to further improve the guest experience,
Mhm.
which makes guests happier and more likely to return.
Exactly.
I like it.
But even with all these like advancements, we can't forget about the human element in hospitality.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
I mean, even with AGI, those personal interactions between staff and guests are still going to be crucial.
Absolutely. Yeah. You can't
Yeah.
replace the warmth and empathy of like a genuine human connection, especially in an industry like hospitality.
Yeah, one of the panelists used the term complementarity,
Okay.
which I thought was really insightful.
Yeah.
It's not about AI versus humans.
Right.
It's about finding ways for AI and humans to like work together
Mm.
to create the best possible experience for guests.
Yeah. I love that idea.
You know?
It's about leveraging the strengths of both.
Exactly.
The speed and efficiency and analytical power of AI
Mhm.
combined with the creativity, intuition, and emotional intelligence that humans bring to the table.
Right. It's about finding that balance
Yeah.
where AI enhances and supports human capabilities,
Yeah.
not replaces them entirely.
I like that.
Yeah.
Which brings us back to those concerns about job displacement.
Right.
Like, how do we make sure that human skills are still valued
Hmm.
and that hotel workers aren't left behind in this wave of technological change?
Yeah, that's a critical question.
It is.
And the panel really stressed the importance of like reskilling and upskilling the workforce to prepare them for the jobs of the future.
So, like, teaching them how to work alongside AI
Exactly.
and how to develop new skills that are in high demand.
Exactly.
So it sounds like the hospitality industry is going to have to take like a really proactive approach to make sure that workers have the support and resources they need
Yeah,
to thrive in this evolving landscape.
I agree for sure.
But it's not just the responsibility of the industry, is it? It
Nah.
seems like governments and educational institutions will need to play a role as well.
Absolutely.
Right.
This is a societal challenge
Yeah.
that's going to require like collaboration and innovation from all stakeholders. We need to be thinking about how to create a future where technology creates opportunities for everyone, not just a select few.
It's a big challenge,
It is.
but it's one we can't ignore.
Absolutely not.
Otherwise, we risk creating a future where like the benefits of technology are unequally distributed,
Yeah.
leaving some people behind while others like reap the rewards.
That would be a real loss.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
technology has the potential to be like a force for good,
Mm-hmm.
a tool that helps us create a more prosperous and equitable future for everyone.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about the exciting possibilities of AGI in hospitality,
We have.
but let's circle back to those potential risks for a minute.
Okay.
The panel mentioned concerns about data privacy and security. Like,
Right.
what are some specific steps hotels can take to like mitigate those risks,
Mhm.
protect guest information?
Well, one of the experts, Chinley, highlighted the importance of having dedicated data privacy officers. So these individuals would be responsible for like ensuring that the hotel complies with data privacy regulations.
Mm-hmm. Like GDPR and PIPL.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also like developing strong data security policies,
Okay.
making sure that guest data is like handled ethically and responsibly.
So it's not just about having the right technology in place.
Right.
It's also about having like the right people and procedures in place to manage that technology.
Exactly. It's about creating a culture of data privacy within the organization
Mm-hmm.
where everyone understands the importance of protecting guest information.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But what about external threats like cyber attacks?
Mm-hmm.
Those are becoming like increasingly sophisticated these days.
They are?
So like how can hotels protect themselves from those kinds of risks?
Well, Chinale actually suggested um, that AI itself could be used to strengthen cybersecurity.
Oh,
He
interesting.
talked about using AI to like proactively identify and stop potential threats before they even occur.
Wow, so using AI to fight the very risks it creates.
It is it's like fighting fire with fire,
Yeah, exactly.
but it also underscores the importance of like using AI responsibly.
Right.
We need to make sure that AI is being used to protect people, not to harm them.
Good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of potential harms, the panel also discussed the ethical implications of using AI for security purposes,
Mhm.
particularly when it comes to like security guard robots.
Right.
What were some of their concerns about that?
Well, one concern was the potential for bias.
Oh,
AI systems are trained on data,
right.
and if that data contains biases, the AI system will inherit those biases.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, for example, if a security guard robot is trained on data that, like, disproportionately flags certain groups of people as suspicious,
Okay, yeah.
it could perpetuate and even amplify those biases, which would be a huge problem.
Yeah, that would be bad.
Yeah.
So we need to be like incredibly careful about the data that's used to train these systems and make sure that they're not reinforcing like harmful stereotypes or discriminatory practices.
Absolutely. We also need to think about the potential for misuse.
Okay, like how so?
Well, a security guard robot equipped with, like, facial recognition technology could be used for surveillance and tracking,
Oh. Yeah.
which raises serious privacy concerns.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So it's a tricky situation.
It is.
We need to have like clear guidelines and regulations in place to make sure these technologies are being used responsibly and ethically and
Yeah.
that people's privacy is being protected.
Exactly. And
Right.
we need to have, like, open and honest conversations as a society about the balance between security and privacy.
Right.
Like, how much privacy are we willing to give up in the name of security? It's a complicated question with no easy answers.
It really is, yeah. And it's a question that's only going to become more urgent as AGI becomes more powerful and more widespread.
Absolutely.
But it's a conversation we need to have.
We do.
Okay, so we've explored like the potential benefits, the risks, and the ethical considerations of AGI in hospitality.
Right.
And it's clear that this technology has the potential to like revolutionize the industry in many ways.
For sure.
But what's the timeline for all of this? Like,
Yeah.
when can we actually expect to see these changes happening?
Well, while Masayoshi Son's prediction of artificial superintelligence by 2035
Mm-hmm.
might seem like a little far out,
Mm-hmm.
the truth is that AGI is already starting to make its mark on the hospitality industry.
That's true. Yeah, we're already seeing things like AI-powered chatbots,
Right.
personalized recommendations,
Mhm.
and those delivery robots we talked about earlier.
Yeah. And those are just the early stages.
Right.
Like, as AI technology continues to advance at this incredible pace, we can expect to see even more sophisticated applications emerge in the coming years.
So it's not a question of if, but when.
Exactly.
And it seems like the hotels that like embrace this technology and use it wisely will be the ones that thrive in the future.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
But it's not just about, like, adopting the latest technology for the sake of it.
Right.
It's about understanding the implications
Yeah.
of that technology and using it in a way that benefits everyone.
Mm-hmm.
The industry, the people who work in it, and of course the guests.
It's about finding that sweet spot between like innovation and responsibility.
Yeah.
Between pushing the boundaries of what's possible while making sure that we're not leaving anyone behind.
I like that. Yeah.
And that's both the challenge and the opportunity that lies ahead.
It is.
The future of hospitality is being shaped by AGI, and it's up to us to ensure that it's a future that we can all be proud of.
I agree.
We've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive,
I have.
from the practical applications of AGI in hotels to the ethical questions it raises, and even the mind-boggling predictions of a future with artificial superintelligence.
It's a lot to take in,
It is, yeah.
but it's clear that AGI has the potential to completely transform the hospitality industry.
Hmm.
But it's not like a simple story of progress.
Right.
There are complex challenges to overcome
For sure.
and crucial questions we need to answer.
It really does feel like we're like right on the edge of something big here in hospitality,
Mm.
with technology playing a much bigger role than ever before.
Right.
And one thing that surprised me in all this was this idea that AGI could actually make those human interactions even more meaningful.
Yeah, that was interesting.
It seems kind of counterintuitive,
It does, yeah.
but like if AGI can handle all those like routine tasks like
Right.
checking people in, delivering room service,
Mhm.
that frees up the hotel staff to really focus on those things that need that human touch.
Exactly. So instead of being bogged down with like paperwork or running around with towels,
Right.
they can actually spend more time like connecting with guests,
Yeah.
anticipating their needs,
Yeah.
creating those memorable moments.
It's a cool way to think about it, It's not about replacing humans with robots,
Yep.
but using technology to empower them to do what they do best.
Exactly. And that's where they're like the real value of AGI lies.
Mhm.
It's about finding ways to enhance and augment human capabilities,
Right.
not erase them from the equation.
Yeah, I love that.
One thing that really stood out to me in this whole deep dive was the importance of finding the right balance.
Oh, yeah,
It's
personal.
about balancing like technology with the human touch,
Mhm.
efficiency with personalization,
Right.
innovation with responsibility.
Yeah, it's a delicate dance.
It is, but it's a dance the hospitality industry needs to learn if they want to like really succeed in this rapidly changing world.
I agree. So as we wrap up our deep dive into AGI and the future of hotels,
Mm.
what's like the one big takeaway you want our listeners to walk away with?
Hmm. I think the key message here is that AGI isn't just a technological evolution, it's a cultural shift.
Oh, interesting.
It's about like reimagining what hospitality means in a world where machines can think and learn and
Yeah.
adapt. And it's about making sure that technology empowers both the people who work in hospitality and the guests who experience it.
I love that it's not just about adopting the shiny new gadgets and algorithms,
Right.
but about using this technology intentionally and
Yeah.
thoughtfully
Yeah,
to create a better future for everyone.
exactly. And that future is, well, it's full of possibilities,
It is,
both exciting and challenging.
for sure.
And it's a future that we'll need to approach with like a healthy dose of enthusiasm,
Yeah,
but also careful consideration.
totally. So as we move forward, it's worth asking ourselves, will hotels prioritize efficiency and personalization over the human touch?
Right. And how will guests react to these increasingly automated environments?
Yeah, will they embrace or reject a world where robots are a common part of their travel experience?
These are just some of the questions we'll be facing in the years to come.
They are. It's a fascinating time to be following the hospitality industry.
It is.
So the choices we make today will shape the hotels of tomorrow. And understanding the potential of AGI is a big part of that.
And as you said earlier, it's not just about hotels.
Right.
These questions about AI and automation and the future of work are relevant to all of us.
Yeah, no matter what industry we're in.
So keep them in mind as you encounter AI in your own life. Think about the potential benefits, the risks,
Mm-hmm.
and most importantly, stay curious and engaged in the conversation.
I love that.
The future is being written now, and we all have a role to play in shaping it.
That's a great note to end on. So, to everyone listening, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into AGI and the future of hospitality. It's been a fascinating conversation, and we hope you've learned something new and thought provoking. Until next time.